By the way, I love to talk to competitors and just message them and have a quick call. And who knows what happens, like in the previous company.
In this episode, I'm joined by Mario Tarouca, co-founder and CEO of FrameDrop AI, where he's revolutionizing how media companies repurpose content for social media. With a deep passion for automation, AI, and video, Mario has spent years helping brands scale their digital presence effortlessly. Before FrameDrop, Mario built Breadfast, a breakfast delivery startup which he later sold to Eat Tasty, where he led user acquisition, monetization, and retention. Hey, hi Mario. Thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, Yashesh, thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right. So you are in middle of a pivot and it's an interesting time to talk about frame drop. But before we dive into all that, do you want to give a little bit of history and background on the genesis of frame drop and where you are today and who you're serving?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So again, thanks for the invitation. So me and my co-founder JD, we started around 3-4 years ago the company, and the actually JD started it in the beginning. He's the gamer, the tech guy behind like our product and our AI. And the beginning, the first problem that we were trying to solve was this was back 2021. Gamers on Twitch were streaming for 5, 10, 20 hours sometimes even. And they were playing a game. And so they wanted then at the end goal was to attract more viewers and fans into their streams. And so one way of doing that was to repurposing and republishing those contents from those 5, 10 hours long into the social media, right? On TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, and other social media networks, even X, former Twitter. And so this was a strategy that they use a lot. And so the way they were doing that was unfortunately manually. So they would write on the book, like on the notebook, like the timestamps of the best plays they thought they would do. And then they would go back after, again, streaming 5 to 10 hours, really consuming and tired from all that stream. They would go back and manually edit it by themselves. And at that time, my co-founder GD thought there could be a better way and we could eventually automate that. And so he created the first algorithm for Call of Duty Warzone. And the idea was to automatically to find in real time while the stream was happening, the streamer would get immediately with a delay of a couple of minutes the clips and so think of double kills, triple kills, quad kills, right? If you on Warzone, the main goal is to stay alive, to be the last standing man, and also to kill as many opponents and eliminate as possible. And so when you kill 3, 4 people, right, within a couple of seconds, that's a good play. And so we started doing that, and this was like the genesis, the very first product that we created. It was a small, simple video editor. Again, think of a timeline where as soon as we would discover new clips, like a new one would come in, a new one, we would then label them based on double kills, triple kills, and you could sort them, save the favorite ones, download them, and then you could share them on social media. So then in the end, you could generate more awareness about your stream. And so people could come in and earn more money at the end. Right? This is how everything started.
And so you guys came before or after Opus? What was the timing like? And because I
Yeah.
think the feature set is similar. You both operate at least right now in a similar space. Yeah. When did Opus arrive and how did it impact you guys?
The Opus, to be honest, we started with our, if not the first, one of the first, I think, tools for these purposes. Again, it was 2021, pre-ChatGPT madness and all these tools that are right now and all the AI evolutions that we have, which is great. Like it has been increasing exponentially, and the developments that we have on a daily basis are amazing. But yeah, at the time, we were one of the few tools doing that. And as I said, we focus on Twitch, on the gaming side of it. And so the way we grew was increasing our catalog. So at the time, our main competitors were Eclipse, Athenoscope, even Streamladder was kind of potential partner / competitor there. So these are some of the tools that the gamers were using, or even Medal TV was another one. So these were our competitors back then in the gaming industry. And so we spent 1 year there, 1.5 years. And now looking back, and we already did this assessment internally, we spent too much time at vertical. We tried to sell to the gamers, the fans of the gamers, the esports organizations, the brands. So we tried different ways of selling the same core business. So this from long video to short one, different angles. For instance, we tried to position brands logos within these clips, and so the streamers would get this for free, and actually they would monetize this by having brands paying for visibility. As just to give you an example, so we try to launch every more or less 3 months a new product. And yeah, so we spent there 1 year and a half. While we were doing this, we were also fundraising. So we closed our pre-seed round at the time. So this was end of November 2022. And so only later we decided like late 2023, early 2024 last year, so more or less 1 year and a half ago, we decided to move into what we call talking content. And this is where we started to become more close to Opus and other tools. Yeah. Sorry, just to add an idea here. So the core technology is the same. So the idea behind is, again, from long video to short one, verticalize it, add some captions, make it nice so you go on social media. But the models behind the things that we're looking for were different, because on one side we're looking on the gaming, so it's one type of content. When we go into talking content, our customers start to be like podcasters, YouTubers, and other types of users, besides the gamers. Yeah.
And so from Twitch to talking videos, and now you're in another transition. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the transition is and how did you come about that change?
Yes, really excited for what's coming, because over the past, as I said, more or less 3 years, we have been working on a B2C SaaS, so software as a service platform. And again, like the average ticket was $20, $50, $100 a month, depending on the number of hours that you do to process. But the thing is that the majority of these personas that I was telling you about, like the gamers, the podcasters, and others, normally they create content. The gamers and the streamers, they create way more, but the podcasters and even the most famous podcasters you'd name now, they create 1 or 2 hours podcast per week. And even doing already 1 or 2 podcasts per week, it's already really exhausting and time consuming. So it's only the top tier ones that do that, right? And so because our pricing model is based on the number of hours that they want to process, in order to scale our revenue and our to grow by a lot, we need to have thousands or like dozens of thousands of customers, right? And that's one thing. The other thing is, as you said, Opus and other tools are our direct competitors. Like right now, there's a huge overlap in terms of feature parity. So of course they have some things that we don't have. We might have some things that they don't, but overall 80% of the product is more or less the same. People can use it to solve their main problem, which is, again, turn long video into short one, and then the output could be better or not. But in terms of feature parity, there's a lot of overlap between us, Opus, and other tools. And so the output in the end might have, like in terms of quality, be better or not, but the problem is solved there. Another thing is, over the past months, let's say over the past 6 months, because of the AI developments, what we have been seeing is that almost every week we were discovering a new competitor, right? Direct competitor.
Yes.
Something like us would have a tool that create clips from long form video. I can even tell you that May last year, we went, so almost 1 year ago, we went to an event in London, in the UK, and it was an event focused on podcasts and radio. And even on the trade fair like floor, there were, I think we were 3 tools that were doing this. Even in a small, it was not a small event, but it was an event just for the UK market. We were already a few tools there. So we could, like week by week, month by month, we could realize that we were a lot. And also the way we all of us position were a freemium model. So this means that you have a free version and then a paid. And so what we were also discovering, and our data shows that, and we also talked with our competitors. By the way, I love to talk to competitors and just message them and have a quick call. And who knows what happens? Like in the previous company, just out of curiosity, like I even bought one of my competitors and merged and joined forces. So you never know what happened. But again, we discovered that the conversion from free to paid was not ideal. And so because of all these reasons, we decided to start to look into other possibilities and start to look, should we niche down, be the very good ones in a specific industry doing this? Whereas like all of us and the way we were positioning is you can throw any type of content here, one model fits all, but then the feedback we were getting is that the clips are good, but it's missing one or two parts of a sections of this content that it's not there, and I really would like to be there. And so you could not create one model that would make everyone happy. And
Yep.
so while this was happening, two things happened. One was we started to see a new type of customer using our tool, which was the media industry, specifically radio stations. So
Mm-hmm.
we started to see a lot of radios from around the world using us because for us it was then obvious, which is they have podcasts. It's like radio show, podcast is really similar. Radios now are integrating cameras in their studios, and so they start to have video also. And so they started to use our tools. And we start to see that they start to retain more than other users. So this was important. And so this caught our eye, and we started to look and pay more attention there. And while we were doing this, another opportunity came up in Portugal, where we are based. Although we are a remote company, we have people around outside of Portugal, but the company is based in Portugal. And so what happened was a test bed, like a media open call, was created. And so this is basically the goal of this test bed is to bring together on one side media industries, so radio, digital, newspapers, and TV networks, broadcasters. And on the other side, companies and mainly startups like us that are developing solutions and are innovating within the media industry, right? Within Portuguese landscape. And so we were like, okay, let's explore it. This data was already coming in that I just told it, so let's invest some time here. This was great because we participated in the first cohort, were
Mm-hmm.
accepted. We actually even won an award there from 10 to 15 startups, different solutions. We won the first prize there. And so what happened was, as soon as I finished my pitch for all these C-level people from media groups, what happened was incredible. Like all of them just came to me and started asking me more about this tool. And in the beginning, I pitched long form to short form, and they were like really excited about it. And so what followed in the next few months, which is last semester,
Mm-hmm.
was that I spent and my team, we spent a lot of time on these media offices. So we went there, we talked with them, we did a bunch of what do we call like auditing. So basically, we just sat behind them on their computer and we just analyzed all the tools, the processes they were doing, the workflows, the timing they were spending on every single task, like all the tests they were doing, the boring ones, the cooler ones. And then we realized, and we took a lot of information from there. And then we went back to our office and we did this for several weeks in different players. And then at the end, we created these reports, like 1, 2, 3 pages reports, simple things that we share with the C levels that we have like met 3 months before, right? And what we realized was, okay, we realized that there was a problem even before that. We realized there was a problem that was common to 80% of these media outlets. And the problem was they had teams that their own job was just to watch in real time specific shows, no matter if it's radio or TV or even press conferences for digital newspapers. They were watching these shows, this content in real time, and what they were doing is basically cutting videos, 1, 2, 5, 10 minutes videos, writing an article, title, body, subtitle sometimes, really short one. And while they were writing, they were already listening. They kept listening, and the live stream and cutting, already thinking on the next one to cut. And they would do this like full time. This is still their job. And so the way and why they are doing this because they need to create content. They need to repurpose content, right? They need to have website articles. They need to have things on social media. Some of them have mobile apps that they need to feed with information. So they have different platforms and to distribute this in like initial content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is happening all real time. Like as the live show is going on, they do all that.
exactly. And this happens across the world. We have been meeting with broadcasters from the US, UK, other European countries, and the pain is the same. Even CNN, Sky, CNBC, KBC News, top tier 1 broadcasters, they do it the same. And you can imagine that in order to scale, they also scale linearly their teams. So the more programs, TV shows they have, the more people they have. It's linear. And that means a lot of people, costs, and also less efficient because as a human, it takes time. We need to think on the angle what to write. We cannot write two or three articles at the same time. We need to write one, and then the other one, then the other one. So this means there's a delay. And so sometimes the show ends at, let's say, 1 p.m., but the last article is published at 3 or 4 p.m. because they are catching up with all the articles that they need to post. But then the problem is, then they compete with the new digital influencers creators that they are way faster, more agile. And so these what some of these media tell us is that if we don't have, for instance, from a soccer football press conference, if they don't have the 30 seconds short out there within 2 3 minutes, someone already posted it, right? And what's happening today is that it takes them 20 30 minutes to do the entire cutting, downloading, uploading on their CMS, writing, reviewing it, and posting, right?
Yeah.
And this is a huge, we found out other things, but we decided then the process was, okay, this is a huge problem. It takes them a lot of time. We identified the entire workflow. We understood which parts takes more time. And then we sat down internally and said, okay, having the skills we have, the team we have, what we have created so far on FrameDrop with all the pipeline, the infrastructure, the AI knowledge that we have, can we do something here? And if yes, what is it, right? Can we improve this process? Can we decrease the costs? Can we increase the speed? Can we increase the number of articles out there? And the answer was like, check, check. And so and this is coming back to your question, this is where we are now. So now we are pivoting from a B2C product into a B2B, where the main and the core thing is, okay, we create one model for a specific TV show, for a specific type of content. Again, think of reality shows or news or press conference, and then specific also dedicated for that content. And so we can define what an highlight is. And so you remember the problem that we still have on FrameDrop.ai, which is one model doesn't fit everyone. So now we can solve that problem. So that one is checked. And then the second part is, okay, from a 2 3 hours show, we can then identify the best moments in real time and like the human, but faster. But let's say it's similar. And then the second step is, okay, now that we have that segment of 5 minutes, we create an article with a title, subtitle, body, tags, and other details and fields. And this article, so just to conclude that this article, it's already aligned with the editorial guidelines of the media. So we know what is the length of the article, what is the type of like communication we have there, depending on the audience and that media brand audience. So we can customize everything. Yeah.
So the consortium was obviously a very good accident. How did you find did the consortium find you, or you found the consortium somehow?
Yeah, that's a great question because they found us. They came to us. So this consortium was launched last year.
Okay.
Again, as I said, we participate in the first cohort. It's funded by European Commission grants. Yeah, they were reaching out. It was a new thing. They reached out to a bunch of different companies. We were one of them. Then there was a selection phase. We were accepted. Then the process that I told you, like we pitched, we did these POCs, these trials. We went to the office of the media. But yeah, definitely this was a pivotal thing. But what I want to tell is that yes, it might sound like it was luck, but also we were already looking to that industry,
Mhm.
and also we were positioning ourselves and we were already commenting. Like I do a lot of LinkedIn posts. And so I was already targeting and starting to talking about this media industry opportunity. And so perhaps this is why they found. And anyway, like I always like to think, and my life has been always like this, which is we create luck is, sorry, I'm translating out to Portuguese, but basically it's difficult. It's hard work to be lucky because you need to work, you need to position yourself, you need to. I would say 10 of out of these events that I go, only one or two actually gives me great opportunities, and the return of investment is positive. But I need to keep going and trying, and I know that someday a door like this will open. That then one door will give opportunities, and I will be exposed to multiple opportunities. If I would say back then, if I would have said, no, we are not interested, like we don't have the time, like perhaps all of these wouldn't. Because it was important for us because it opens the entire industry. Of course, in a small country like Portugal that we are using as a test bed, but it's helped us to figure out all these challenges and how to tackle them.
Yeah, and of course, when you have this problem baked, the solution baked with which is validated at a smaller scale, and you go out to, let's say, rest of the Europe or US, it'll already be pretty obvious to understand. Like people from the media industry will have a easier time understanding because it's an obvious pain for them that you've already discovered.
Just just to just to comment on that really quick is that one um, one thing that we were afraid of was that this pain was just in Portugal. And
Hmm.
so because one might think that it's a small country, innovation takes more time to arrive here. We might be like 1 or 2 years behind the US or other European countries that have more budget, are trying more things. But what I realized, and so before that, we decided it was important to validate as quick as possible that. So we started reaching out to other European broadcasters also in the US.
Mhm.
And then we easily realized that no, it's a common problem. And my reason behind it, the explanation is that AI is the solution, and AI is being developed for everyone at the same time. So no matter which country you are currently, which continent, like everyone has access to the same models, like within hours, days, weeks, maximum, but like days of delay, right? There's not this problem. So we are still, yeah, the major groups, they still have the same problem.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of solutions coming out are broad and horizontal versus I think things are changing, of course, and especially with the deep seek announcement where it's
Hmm.
really evident that foundational models are not going to be a massive mode and the bigger play is going to be at the application layer and the UX. So yeah, it makes sense for you to narrow down on a niche. For someone who is having hard time talking to customers, I think these consortiums seem like a very good option. I don't know if you've come across listings of them at a European level or even at a Portugal level. Is there a listing that exists or you're aware of?
Um, I'm not aware. There might be, but I'm not aware of. What I know is that I've been knowing and getting to know about these consortiums, both in national and European level, by following specific startup newsletters, for instance, specific communities, by being inside specific communities,
Hmm.
WhatsApp groups, newsletters, going to meetup events. These consortiums normally they advertise themselves there and
Yeah,
they partner with these so they can distribute it, right? And get to reach companies like ours.
it's like
And so I would say that could be a way because now that I'm more aware of these, I've been realizing that some of the times the posts of these newsletters they are mentioning these.
very interesting journey, exciting times ahead. What's the biggest challenge today?
I'll be honest, the biggest challenge is time to market. Like we feel we have the team, we have the product, we are building it, the feedback, and we have already some media using it in production. We have already some media groups and broadcasters publishing fully automated or partially automated articles and videos by us, which is incredible. Everyone inside the team is super excited,
Mhm.
and this is happening really fast. And so the biggest challenge, to be honest, now is we need to make it fast in terms of reach out to other media groups and make sure that we are the first ones to get there. Yeah. I will tell you, I'll share you one thing, which is 2 years ago, as we talked about, yes, we were even before Opus, but we feel that assuming that Opus is like the main player in the industry currently, we feel that we lost that wave, right? We were
Mm.
not, me and my co-founder, we already again thought about this and we were not aggressive enough in terms of the money we raised, how big the team was, and how ambitious we were. We now feel that we are again on a second wave, second huge opportunity, and we don't want because
Yes, yeah.
of that situation. And now we are doing exactly the opposite, which is okay, we are still conscious people, but our ambition is way higher, is way bigger. We are going to increase our team. We are a team of 10 now, and we are to increase it in the next few months. And we want to make it happen this fast. So it's like currently our mindset is go big or go home. It's like that the thing of startups currently now we are embracing that because it's literally that like we need to make it happen really fast.
We also spoke about SEO and different things that worked for you while you were
Mhm.
in the B2C mode. Do you want to talk about some SEO lessons and what could work and how could you apply those lessons to the B2B space?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, SEO was an important tool and way to grow for us for sure. So we invested. It was the first um, marketing tool we decided to invest time on and people and allocate resources there because we knew that it would take time. So long, it's like a marathon, right? It's not paid performance where you just throw money and within minutes, hours, you have your first customers or first people landing on the website. So it's a long run, but the best thing about it is that once it's like a compound effect, like every new article, every new person talking about you, every new referral link will then compound on the previous ones and then it's exponential and it stays there, right? No matter if you stop investing there or not. So yeah, we started investing one person from the team, and by investing, I would what happened was we decided to create a blog on FrameDrop, and so we at the time we didn't know what how to create a blog, how to write, what we should write about it, and what is the structure of an article. And so what we did was we hired an SEO consultant and so like an advisor that was close and working closely to that person from my team, and so she has like both an advisor and a mentor to that person. And so we decided here a framework of 6 months that we work with that person. We had regular checkpoints. That person and that advisor created a framework, did a bunch of analysis, gave us training on the tools, on how to create articles, the templates, so everything we needed. And we started, if I'm not mistaken, like writing 2 articles a week, then we increased to 3. At the end, now we were at 4 or 5 articles a week, so almost one per day. Um, and yeah, in the beginning, that person was writing it, and then we brought a second person because we started to see that was paying off. We started to bring a second person, so this is how we increased. And yeah, we had, I can tell you that around 80%, so 4 out of 5 people that were signing up on FrameDrop were coming from were organic, right? Were coming
Oh,
from
wow.
SEO. Not only like we did the blog post, we also did several different landing pages for describing the features, the use cases, the type of customers, the tool. So we mapped all these things, and we also have a bunch of different landing pages. And then we also worked with content creators and across different platforms like X, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Like we tried all of them in different formats. What we started to see is that then after a couple of weeks, months, other people started to talk about us because those initial influencers and content creators were talking about us. And yeah, we started to be mentioned a lot. And so if you go on Google now and search for FrameDrop, there's a lot of content created by us, but specifically or important by third parties, like reviews, listings, articles where they mention our tool and other tools. And so, yeah, we invested a lot in there and then paid off. Yeah.
So, on the influencer marketing, if I understand it correctly, you seeded some influencer market, you hired some influencer marketers to list your product as one of the product's AI tools. And then because they listed it, other people who were doing similar stuff or publishing similar lists started picking up your name and listing them by themselves without you even paying for it.
Yes, exactly. And that was really great to see. It's what it's called like network effects.
Hmm.
So once you start to, some people start to talk about you, then you have those 30 parties that, I mean, even the majority of them, I would say, I don't even know that they exist, what they mentioned about us, what they wrote about us, but we could start to see more and more like every single day. Every week we were seeing the numbers growing organically. Yeah, we couldn't tell exactly where they were coming from, and that's I would say the less sexy and the worst part of SEO. That's why performance it's still a big thing because you can track everything, you can measure everything, right? Whereas SEO, sometimes like people see an article or see a next post and then they go directly on another device on mobile. They were seeing on desktop, they go on mobile and write framedrop.ai and bam, we don't know where they came from, right? We don't know,
Yeah, that's true.
but we did some analysis and we could see that there was a big correlation with all of these things. Because one way of knowing this is the way we tried at the time was stopping other initiatives, so paid initiatives. So if you stopped paid initiatives like paid performance, let's say, and then the results keep actually growing, then where is it coming from? So it needs to be from another place. Then we start to dig in and we start to see all these referrals. Also, another cool tip is, and Reddit also, it's another important source for us, but another cool tip is Google has this thing called Google Alerts.
Mhm.
And so you can also create a bunch of different alerts on specific keywords and URLs. And so you can also sometimes it will tell you that your brand, your name was mentioned in specific places.
So creating an alert for yourself just to monitor where things are being shared. Yeah, makes sense. Anything else you want to cover on the journey?
Yeah, a lot of things come to my mind. So as I told you, the company will turn 4 years soon. And we are now like we are already monetizing, we have good numbers, but we are ambitious guys and our investors. And of course, because we were invested by VC, our goals are huge, right? In terms of the next 5 to 10 years. And so we want to keep growing. And sometimes, and the majority of the times, things don't go like things go south, right? Things don't go
Don't go
as you
according to the
expect.
plan. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's important, founders mainly, and also the team to be resilient and yeah, to just keep going, keep trying. As I told you a few minutes ago, like we were in the gaming industry for 1 year or 1 year and a half. We tried every 3 months, we were pivoting up to different targets. Then we reached and we understood the talking content. Then we went to after podcasts, YouTubers. Then we realized because we did that, we realized that radios and broadcasts were coming in. Now we are niching down. And it's like, of course, a consequence of different steps. But I can tell you another thing. After 2 years or 2 years and a half, we integrated with YouTube. And this is where we started to grow exponentially. Like before that, the only two sources you would actually bring upload YouTube videos into our platform were Twitch and manual upload. Once we added YouTube, we exploded. I can tell that within less a month, YouTube became like 80% of representing 80% of our videos. And it seems like it's like an overnight success. It's just a small change, right? We just integrated with YouTube, but it took us like 2 years or 2 years and a half to get there and to try a bunch of other things. Of course, we could have been faster, but just an example of how you need to be resilient. If we would have decided 2 years or 1 or 2 months before to just close down because we weren't doing it, we would have missed the opportunity of upload, like adding YouTube and seeing those numbers. And so, yeah, as for other fellow startup founders, wannabe startup founders thinking of managing and creating a solution and a project company out there. Yeah, resilience, it's really great.
Yeah, everybody has their own time on when they feel like they want to call it quits. But at the same time, if you have the conviction and you keep moving forward, eventually you will get there as long as you keep iterating and keep changing and experimenting. But 4 years is a really long time. And how do you feel about where you're headed, and what does the next, let's say, 6 months look like for you?
Yeah. Before answering that, just a quick story. While we were doing all these pivots, we were always questioning ourselves, like me, my co-founder, like how do the our investors perceive these? Do they perceive these in a way that these guys are not focused, they are always changing,
Yeah.
or do they perceive us as okay, they keep trying and they move fast and they try new things, and this one doesn't work, they go to the next one, they go to the next one. And so after 3 years now, we asked them, they told us, no, we actually like that,
That you
we
change.
actually are impressed that we are keeping change, and you don't stick with your baby idea from the beginning, like after 3 or 4 years, like you kept trying different verticals, different products, different customers within the same vertical. So also to leave a tip out there to other ones is that, of course, it depends from investors to investors, but
Yeah.
we felt that. Now looking ahead, to be honest, like I feel that we are starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
So even after all these 4 years, of course, there's these things that we learn which are great, and these compounds knowledge and network and the people, the team we have, but it's a whole new world. Now we are pivoting. Probably this is the main pivot, like the most different, the biggest pivot that we have done so far, because we are changing from B2C tool to a B2B. And so this changes a lot. The team configuration, the strategy we use, the way we get to customers. the sales cycle. So it's not minutes now, it's like months. And all of these changes, our mindset needs also to change because I'm the person in charge of growth, marketing, sales. So I want things to happen like really fast.
Mhm.
And now I also have to educate myself to, okay, this takes time. It is what it is. Like huge companies, hundreds, thousands of employees, we need to go through different departments. It's a use, like an important shift. And so the next few months, as I said, we are already, some of these media companies are already using us in production. We are really excited to see the first results, the things that, like the assumptions that we had, like the efficiency cost, the time, the number of articles, all of these are being validated as we go through all of these integrations. And so we are really excited. And the team is, so the next few months, it's basically, as I said, go to market. I've been in New York last month. We are going again to New York, London, to LA, to have meetings and to go to specific events because we need to start to make this happen. Also because the sales cycle, as I said, are around 6 months, and we need to start it immediately so we can close anything early.
Oh yeah, going from B2C to B2B, it is a big shift. The sales cycle are
Yeah,
definitely going to go way longer. Are you
yeah,
going to continue having your B2C product serving customers, or you are tapering that off? What's the plan there?
yeah. That's a great question. We are also discussing that internally. What I can tell is that it's generating revenue, so it's also a good thing for us in terms of financials. We are still discussing that. We don't have a final idea there, but yeah, we'll see. But it's a point that we are currently talking.
Cool. I wish you guys all the best. And now it's
Thank
time
you.
for rapid fire. I'll keep it simple. One book that inspired you as a founder.
I would choose Traction from Gabriel and Justin.
Traction.
Traction, which is basically a book with a framework, a bullseye framework, and if I'm not mistaken, 19 chapters. And each chapter is a channel where you can, a sales channel, right? A distribution channel. And
Mhm.
basically, it's a book that it's for any kind of business, no matter if it's B2C, B2B, D2C, like they have a bunch of different ways of selling products. And it's a huge inspiration if you are launching a new product, if you need to, for instance, go to from B2C to B2B, it's a great book.
One piece of advice you would give to aspiring founders.
I'd say focus on a specific niche, on a specific, if you want literally going, focus on one specific customer and resolve and solve that their pain, their problem really well. And then you'll see that things will start to grow and you can go to the second one, to the third one.
Makes sense. One productivity tool that you love the most.
One that saves me a lot of time, so simple, it's Calendly. In
Calendar.
order to schedule meetings. You have others, Google have its own,
Yeah.
and you have other tools, but the tool that allows you to schedule meetings, I always have this link saved and I send it to everyone and people can schedule calls there. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And that's it from me. Thanks for taking the time, and it was a fun chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. If anyone wants to connect, they can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's easy, just look for Mario Tarouca. It's strange name, so no one, I think it's there with the same name. It's easy to find me. But yeah, I would love also to explore other ideas and to get my feedback out there and also to learn from other people. Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation, Richard.
Thanks. If you found this valuable, you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. See you in the next episode.